Hello and welcome to Mr. Makno channel. In the previous video, I said that Russian failed tactically in Ukraine. But that's one side of the war. On the other side, they are winning strategically. After knowing the advantages and disadvantages of both friendly forces and enemy forces, Russian High Command have made some adjustment about tactic, and then Russian gained its first major victory in the coastal city of Mariupol, where they killed 4,000 Ukrainian soldiers and captured another 4,000, destroyed some of the most elite forces in service of Ukrainian armed forces. But the disaster has not ended yet with Ukraine. Today we will talk about the chance of Russian army to win the Battle of Donbass in the near future. On May 7, 2022, Russian captured the town of Popasna in the southern part of Donbass region. To control a greater secure area, Russian forces engaged the Volodymyrivka village in the west of Popasna and Myronovsky village in the south. These defensive positions of Ukrainian collapsed in some following days. By these successful attack, Russian forces created a very dangerous bridgehead at a strategic hilltop position in the south of Donbass front. Then from this position, they can launch a combined arm offensive strike from the southern side, together with another attack from the north, and encircle about 15,000 Ukrainian troops defending in Severodonetsk, Lysychansk, and Kursk. Of the Ukrainian troops mentioned above, the force of 2,000 troops stationed in Severodonetsk is in the most dangerous situation, when the city is surrounded by Russian troops from three sides, and the retreat way to the strongest defensive position, Lysychansk, was blocked. In the south of Popasna, another force with about 2,000 soldiers of the Ukrainian army was at risk of being surrounded in Svetlodarsk after Russian BTGs. BTG stands for Battalion Tactical Group, start the further engagement from Myronovsky. As a result, the General Staff of Ukraine decided to retreat from Svetlodarsk, and Russia captured the town this early morning. Another important defensive position of Ukrainian army, Bakhmut, is likely to face an attack by the Russian army with tanks and BMPs along the highways in the north, east and south, from Pospana, in the near future. If this town is captured, the northwestern nearby city, Slavyansk, will be in danger. And if Russian army can capture the Slavyansk, the encirclement will be closed and the fate of 15,000 Ukrainian troops in three positions in the east of the city, Severodonetsk, Lysychansk, and Kursk, will be decided. With the supply lines completely cut off, there may be no other option for the Ukrainian troops but to surrender, or be destroyed by Russian firepower. So how did the Russian Supreme Command achieve such strategic victories on the Donbass front? They rely on the superior mobility of Russian units compared to Ukrainian one. Russian BTG units based on tanks and BMP vehicles have very high mobility, strong firepower, and the ability to fight independently in an attack. If the Russian army used the old way of fighting, the search and destroy tactic, the BTGs will not be able to resist because each such unit only had 200 riflemen, unable to guarantee the security of a populous area. The Ukrainian army relied on this weakness of the Russian BTG units to organize ambushes with ATGMs and drones, causing heavy damage to the Russian army. The Russian forces have avoided repeating this mistake. They used the BTGs in a more mobile way, concentrating on moving in the fields and along roads, while using Chechen battalions and Wagner's mercenaries in densely populated areas and urban area. These forces had large numbers of soldiers and their combat capabilities improved rapidly after the battle at Mariupol. The Russian army also increased bombing and shelling on Ukrainian positions, especially on their supply routes and artillery positions. The Russian army also used the famous Golden Bridge tactic of the Mongols when they always surrounded only on three sides in the weak positions of the enemy and opened a way for them to escape. The enemy would retreat, allowing the Russians to capture advantageous positions without loss. They have repeated this tactic and occupied one position after another, until they formed a massive encirclement surrounding the enemy's main force. This force, like the Wehrmacht's 6th Army in the Battle of Stalingrad, completely cut off from its supply and retreat lines, would have no choice but to surrender or be annihilated. So in conclusion, the Russian army in the second stage of the invasion, although it still suffered many losses, knew how to overcome its weaknesses and take advantage of its advantages. If the Ukrainian command does not make the necessary decisions, a decisive victory in the Donbass by the Russians will be inevitable. That will be all. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe Mr. Makno channel for more interesting video about history, military technology, and tactic.